But with extra beer stains, that's something that would help.
Yes. They've pictured in the press during a ruck or something wearing it would be great.
Oasis, obviously, you know, they're still relatively new. What should we be looking out for to nab from their tours? And
You want to always be looking out for something that's got an immediate association with the artist or an event, you know.
What if I had Liam's 2 front teeth in my right? Would that be worth
How do you
anything?
prove it? I'd like to see how you prove
Dental
it.
records? I don't know.
I think he might claim they're his.
So, Liquid Assets has discovered that Liam has spent a massive 30 quid worshipping at the altar of his gods, but Noel has put in a much bigger donation to the collection tin, over 25 grand.
Stand by me. Hold on.
The lineup of the band is very different to the one that we saw rehearsing in '93 back at the Boardwalk. To paraphrase another famous wild man, losing one band member may be regarded as unfortunate, but losing 3? That's just plain careless.
They were all Irish Mancunians, and in the early days all the families knew each other. They were all first-generation Irish. They'd all turn up at the gigs. One can understand it must have made Tony feel very bitter when he was booted out of the band.
Today, the case of the man who was sacked from Oasis went off without so much as a drum roll. Tony McCarroll turned up at court, but the rest of the band stayed away, while their barristers agreed to do an out-of-court deal.
And Oasis guitarist Bonehead has announced he's quitting the mega-successful band after 8 years.
And soon after, bass player Guigsy left as well, but it was only Tony McCarroll, a founder member of the original band Rain, who left under a cloud. But that downfall was to cost the band 600 grand. But by now it wasn't just band members the boys were losing.
The star of Oasis, Noel Gallagher, and his wife Meg Matthews have split up. A spokesman for the couple, who have an 8-month-old daughter, said they had simply drifted apart. Only last month, Noel's brother Liam and his wife Patsy Kensit announced they were to divorce.
Like all celebrity divorces, they are notoriously messy and very difficult to find out anything about. But I think what we can be confident of is that if they thought it was expensive while they were married to their Patsy and Meg and running around Bond Street and Gucci, it was probably a lot more expensive when it came to getting divorced. And both women got houses out of their ex-husbands plus very fat deals.
The Gallaghers' failed marriages cost them dearly. For Noel it was 6 million, but for Liam it could have been as much as £10 million. At the end of 2002, Liam was to show the world once more that his days of rock and roll behaviour were far from over.
The notoriously bad-tempered Liam Gallagher is at it again, only this time in Germany. Spread across the papers, news that the Oasis frontman has been arrested and bailed after kicking a policeman during a brawl.
What do you imagine happened in Munich last year?
They stayed up late, they got very drunk, they abused the wrong people, and Liam and his bodyguards got their heads kicked in.
So what of those missing 2 front teeth? I asked a top London dentist to tell us how much they cost to replace. Well, imagine this if you will. I'm an international rock star, tricky one, but run with me if you will. I've got a big gig tomorrow night. Unfortunately, today I've just got myself into a bit of a scrap down a local boozer. Had all my teeth knocked out, or at least the front few. What do we need to do, and where do we start?
Well, without reference to any actual event that's happened, it depends very much what is remaining in your mouth, whether the roots are still there.
Now, presumably this particular work isn't cheap. Quite expensive, I imagine.
Well, it varies. It's certainly not out of the realms of possibility for most patients.
And I mean, is it the more you pay, the less pain you give?
Oh, not at all. God forbid. The more you pay, the different materials that one can use, the different technicians, etc., and it's a matter of quality.
Liquid Assets estimates that the price of this emergency dental work was capped at £20,000.
Talking to the songbird yesterday, flew me to a place not far away.
Just how much are the controversial Gallagher brothers worth? Liquid Assets can exclusively reveal that, taking into account their homes, record sales, tours, and taking off a good proportion of tax and the occasional medical bill, Liam is worth £20 million. And older brother Noel, well, his business sense has ensured that he is worth a wily £45 million. So what's next for Manchester's favourite sons? Well, with Liam's first self-penned hit under his belt, it looks like he's set for his second celebrity marriage. And as for Noel, well, after a spell as a born-again raver, when he met Sarah McDonnell, PR girl here at Manumission, he's using his Oasis fortune to bankroll new bands through his own record label, Sour Mash.
Where will he be in 5 or 10 years' time? I don't know. Maybe they'll manage to complete a full tour of the States at some point or other. That'd be good.
If I could liken them to another act, it would be the Rolling Stones. They have the potential to go on as long as they can be bothered to go on stage. I think it's that strong a brand.
Can you imagine walking around working on a building site, having written Definitely Maybe? All those songs were written when he was still working on that building site, pretty much. I must have either driven him insane or he just must have been laughing his head off. Can you imagine that? Knowing you have all those songs in your head and you didn't even have a band to play them with. That's what I think's remarkable.
It's Dermot up next with more from Recovered.